my sound. Okay, guys, so what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the Rouser World Live Caricature Art Stream. We're going to be drawing some cartoons today. What's going on, Inan from Pakistan? Awesome. Veteran cartoonist in the house. We got Nicole Francis. What's going on, my old friend? My old friend, I heard from you in a minute. So, what is it that we're going to be getting into today? What I want to get into today, I'm going to actually take this off here. I don't really need this right now. Okay. I'm going to be getting into stick figures. Okay. Drawing caricature themes. I've been getting a lot of students. Hello, Mr. Lulu. What's going on? How are you? Mr. Lulu, you finally made it to the stream, huh? Okay. Or were you already coming and I just didn't know you were here? I don't know. How are you, Mr. Lulu? Welcome. Good morning, everyone in Rouser Land, Rouser World Land. Today we're gonna be doing some real cool stuff. We're gonna figure out how we can use these. Hold on a second. Let me go here. Let me go over to here real quick. Just give me a sec, guys. I know y'all wanna. Let me see if I can find this. Here we go. Hold on. And here we go. Hold on a second. Let me go here, and here's where I need to see more. Okay, hold on a second, guys. All right, so first thing, what we're gonna do, guys. So we got like a little outline here we're gonna do, and so I'm gonna do a little bit of a quick intro, right, to our thing, and we're gonna start with a capturing visual of a cartoon character in motion, explain the importance of understanding cartoon anatomy even for beginners, and briefly introduce the core concepts covered. Okay, so in this particular stream, guys, we're going to be covering caricature bodies. Okay, if you guys have never having problems with your caricature bodies, you're in the right. You are in the right place. I'm going to teach you. We're going to go over these things, and I'm going to teach you a little bit about what I know about that. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do, just going right into it, is warm up before we do anything. And then we're going to go into building the foundation of our picture and like kind of things like that. Okay, so to warm up, yes, I did hear about Malcolm Jamal Warner. I'm going to have to probably draw his picture today or something too. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start with drawing random shapes. So I like to, here, let me just, let me pull up my shapes here. Hold on. And I know I got them here. Okay. All right. So we're going to start by doing some random shapes. So guys, let's go ahead and warm our hand up, right? Get your hands warm. Snap your fingers, whatever you got to do, right? But you want to make sure that you're nice and loose. And it takes a minute. I never, as a rule of thumb, even when I go to work, I never give somebody my first drawing because I feel like that's just uncivilized, right? All right, so we're going to start with our circle shape. So let's go ahead and draw us a couple of circles, right? Circles of different sizes, and we're just warming up, kind of putting some little crosshairs in them so that we can maybe make those in the heads maybe. Okay, so let's just warm up a little bit. Right? Today, everybody says today, I am going to the beach. Yes, we're going to the beach my sons like to go out there, so I'm going to go to the beach today. It's going to be 100 degrees outside. That's going to be an interesting beach trip. Okay? So, anyway, drawing little shapes like this is going to really, really help you with your character design, your head design, and all that. And the more proficient you get with drawing shapes, especially at drawing them in dimension, like what I'm about to do now, like say if I wanted to draw this cone here, right? I could, put a bottom on the cone so that you could see that this is the bottom of the cone and this is the top. Or like if it was like a little eye beam, right? If you got an eye right here, the cone goes like that, right? And then it'll be looking over here at something, right? So here's your eyeball, right? And it's looking out at something. So you got this little cone right there. All right. Let me see. Pyramid. Let's try this pyramid right here. Okay. Yes. Shade in one side. Looks like we're looking at it from this side. So the light might be coming from here. I just like to play around with my shapes and try different things, you know. It's fun to draw these. This is the basis of all cartoons. I think we don't spend enough time doing these type of exercises, so we wind up with very flat, undimensional drawings that don't look like cartoons. So you can't draw a cartoon unless you know how to do this. You can't do it. You can't draw a convincing cartoon because you have to because cartoons are known to abbreviate things. It's trying to get a quick version of this person down. It depends a lot on super simplification of features, and if you can't simplify, it's going to be hard. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little exercise with you guys today. This is just my little shapes that I want to. There's some shapes, and we're done with that. If you guys want to continue to draw shapes, you can. On the back of this, I'm going to turn it over here. And then I'm just going to create something. I like to do these before I start. I do these before I start drawing caricatures. A lot at work. So let's say I got a circle right here, right? Let's say I got a square, right? And it's kind of like making up a little sentence. And then I got a little hexagon shape here. Okay, I got like a, let me see, let me get a rectangle over here somewhere. Okay, then we got a trapezoid up here somewhere. Okay, and then we're gonna have, let's see, maybe we can put a pyramid right here. Okay, so just humor me. You got a pyramid right there. Okay, and then let me see what else we got. What other kind of shape? I guess I can put one more shape here. Let's just end it with a circle. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do these like we do 3D letters, okay? You ever seen somebody draw graffiti letters before and they kind of just make the lines come off of it like this, right? So the object is to try to find a way where the shape can bend, where you can make it dimensional, right? So this way, maybe this way here, I could do this one, right? Right? And then maybe this one here can go that way. All right, so you got to be able to see these little shapes in your head. Like this here, this go back here. And see how you can make that. This one's already kind of dimensional, so I really don't need to do anything there unless I wanted to add something to the bottom of it. And then here, I'll just kind of do like this and bring it this way. Okay. All right, so we got a bunch of different shapes right there. So all we'll do here is shade in the sides of our figures, right? To make it look like this has some dimension on there, right? These are really good to paint too. If you've ever painted a caricature, like painted a drawing before, you like to paint a lot. Shapes are real awesome to paint, and depending on how well you put them together, I think they're really good sellers. Because people don't sometimes like if you're gonna do like canvas work or something like that, people like to see how well you play with shapes and stuff and colors. You know what I mean? So you'd be surprised. You can make a masterpiece off of something, you never intended to be a masterpiece. And that's happened to me several times. I had a guy one time buy a piece of artwork from me that was totally unfinished. And he was like, I want this. And I was like, well, I'm not done with it yet. He's like, well, when you finish, I want it. And how much do you want for it? And I was like, $300. He's like, I'd have gave you $5. But okay. I was like, dang it. All right. So I wouldn't have been a starving artist. Okay, so here we go, guys. We are finished with our warm-up session. So we're going to go now into the first, or the primary part of our little lesson today. We're going to demonstrate the cartoon skeleton. So that's what I'm going to do here. Let me just write that down. So I'm going to do that. Let me see. I'm going to talk about cartoon skeletons. Okay, joints and limbs. That's a good one. Let me see. I'm trying to see how we're going to do this. And then we explain common proportion ratios. Okay, common proportions and ratios. Right. So we're going to talk about that. Let me see. And then we're going to use real world examples from famous cartoon characters to illustrate these principles. Oh, so real world examples. Real examples. Okay. Okay. Of cartoon characters. Okay, we might get to that part. I'm not sure, but we're going to definitely do the first two things. Okay. So, hold on a second, guys. I need to make an adjustment here. Something. I think I got my autofocus on still. Wait, properties. Hold on. Yeah, autofocus has got to be still on. Apply. Okay, there we go. Okay, so cartoon skeleton and joints. All right, so let me see how we can start this so that it would be first off, these shapes that we just drew before we go there, okay? If you're a beginner, I think that the best way to learn to draw figures is to put shapes together and build it like a robot. For instance, if I use this basic sheet right here of shapes that we have over here on the screen, right? You'll see I have a circle, right? Here I might have a square, right? Okay. Here I might have a triangle. Okay, and this is usually going to be like hips. So you want your something for your torso, something for your hips, something for your head. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some shapes here. This shape here. Okay, let me show you. And this is a parallelogram. It looks like the big blue one right here. Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do here is take these two parallelograms and I'm going to put one here. Okay. Right? And I'm going to put one here. These are parallelograms. Then I'm going to put another one here. That's the same size. Okay. So these are legs. Okay. And then we have our feet, which are going to be also they're going to be little triangles like this. Okay. Okay. And they should fit right in there. Now on the arms, you're going to have these same shapes. Right? Just like this. Like a stripe, almost like you're doing stripe. You know what I'm saying? And the other arm should go over here, but you get what I'm saying? And then you have your hand, right? Which would be like this. Okay. All right. So, and then you have your center line of your body. Okay. So this is kind of the basics of what a body looks like. If we're just doing it shape for shape, you want to do an easy cartoon. You don't know, like you're not really skilled at bodies. What I'm going to tell you today basically is that everything that we learn today while we're drawing together, don't get discouraged because you can't retain all of it, or you still kind of feel a little bit lost about it, because essentially this is all you're doing with the body. So let me demonstrate again how easy that is. Right now we're talking about the cartoon skeleton, the joints and limbs, okay? But first, before we go to joints and limbs, we want to show you the super easy way to look at this overall. So this is an overall look of the body, okay? So if I'm drawing my cartoon, okay, again, pick a head, again, pick a torso, okay, drop down a bit, put down my triangle shape, then I drop down a bit, and I put my shapes like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right? Then look over here. You do the same thing. You're just creating 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? So you do like this here, and then you go like that. Boom. All your lines should be going the same way. Okay, and then you got your arm, your hand here, right? And then you got your other one here, right? Just like so, going here, and your arm here. So then you got your midsection to your body. You can make these limbs in any kind of way that you can change these shapes out for anything that you want to change them out for, but we're just talking about the basic construction of the body, okay? So now that we understand that, I want to go into cartoon skeleton, the joints, limbs, as far as stick figures. So over here, you'll see that I got like a bunch of different little stick figures that I just draw different ones. This is just a little sketchbook, and I love to do gesturing, right? Which is like where you gesture and you use the same concept. Okay, all right. So So we're going to talk about the joints and limbs. So let's go into that. Okay. So really, with the human body, one of the most important things I think that you can learn would be that the arm is an equilateral shape. In other words, this and this are the same length. Okay. Some people might have longer or shorter arms than others, but it doesn't change the anatomy of the body. Now, you might have the anomaly where somebody's upper arm is way shorter than their lower arm, and those make for unique characters. I mean, sometimes you can have something like that, but generally speaking, a normal human being is going to have equilateral limbs, no matter where you go to the arms or if you go to the legs. Okay, so now, understanding this is very important, because if we look at the torso, let's just take the upper torso here, and we'll just draw the torso as a square. Okay, this is the head, so we can give you some perspective. All right, if I extend a stick from the end of this box out, and I put a dot, and then I extend another stick and I put another dot, right? You can see here I know where to stop and start my features at. You get what I'm saying? Because this line has to be as long as this one. Once I get to this dot, right, then I'm simply at the end of that dot, I'm remembering that when I drew this, I drew a little triangle shape. So you can see that I can make a gesture, right? If I want to do this with the other arm, then I'll come down from here, one, right, to the bottom, almost to the bottom of your torso, and then we got another line, okay? And then if I want to put another hand here, I could put this little shape here. Okay, so now I got a guy going like this, right? Because it's a gesture. You know what I'm saying? Like a kind of reminds me of somebody doing karate, right? All right. So knowing this, you can draw your upper body. Let's just stick with that for a minute. You can make it do any number of things. So let's say we want to do this. And we got a round upper torso. It doesn't matter. Okay, we got our center line. We come from the edge. What we'll do with a round shape is a lot of times you might want to put another circle here on the outside. And that is to give it a little bit of shoulder. See, here it wouldn't be necessary because of the squareness of the box. I don't need to put shoulders here. But this here, I'm going to need something to attach to. So once I put this square here, or this circles here on the side to represent shoulders, right? Then I'll come out and my stick goes here, right? And then look, my other stick is the same length, right? And let's just say I'm pointing at somebody. You see? Or I'm doing like this, where you can see how that limb would move out, right? If this limb is here, right, let's go down and then go to our triangle. Remember, we talked about the triangle here. So now let's say we go here. Well, in order to go to the hip, I got to do this. And you probably seen people that stand like this. You get what I'm saying? So it makes it easy for you to understand where everything is going to start, right? And then it makes everything easier for where you want to stop. Okay? Give me a sec here, guys. Let me plug my phone in. I don't have much energy. I was meaning to stream on TikTok, but I hadn't got to it yet. So once I get a little bit of battery on my phone here, I got 32%, but I still don't want to. I want to get a little bit more charged in that. Okay. All right. So that is the upper body. Okay. But let's explore the lower body. Let's explore the body as a whole. Okay. So let's move this here. Okay. And let's draw some more stick figure bodies over here. Okay. So if we know this if this is the upper body, okay, we know the lower body is simply a pelvis, which is basically a triangle with limbs attached to it. Okay. So this, from here, what I'll do, okay, is I can draw this. I can go like here. I can go like this. 1, okay, 2. Look, 1, 2. Same triangles, except your legs are, unless you're off of Star Trek, your legs are usually longer than your arms are. Okay? So same concept, different half of the body. Okay? Okay, so now you practice it. Let's say I want to make a guy do this. 1, look. 2, look. 1, look. 2. Same distance. And you're making the distance based off of the limb that you're literally drawing from. So once I draw this limb, only thing I'm thinking is this limb further away from me, or is this limb further away, or is this one closest? And then what I'll do is I'll make my stick shorter on this one, longer on this one, or vice versa, depending on what I'm trying to do. So here you can see that I have limbs that are going to, I want it to look like it's further back from me. So I'm going to I drew these smaller, and you can see my triangle here would be a little bit smaller for the foot, right? But over here, I could do something like this. Okay. And now I have my other foot here. So you can see now what my legs are. This is this foot looks kind of weird. Hold on. Okay. So you can see here that we have a guy kind of standing up, on one leg. He might be running, right? Or if you're just doing a regular caricature where you got people just all standing next to each other, and you want to make sure that one of them is tall as the other one, or not as tall. You see here, so let's say this is dad, right? And this is mom. So let's just say this is dad. Dad is going to be about, his torso's right here. So his arm, he might go 1, 2, right? 3, 4, right? And then legs, and then legs. And then you got mom. She has shorter legs, right? But we want to make it look like they go in the same picture. Right? You can see how I can manipulate this by using shorter limbs every time. You get what I'm saying? Leading into, once I space it, my torso shape. So let's just say with women, generally, their hips are going to be wider than their shoulders. So I might do a shape like this. Okay, a man might have wider shoulders than hips. So I might do a shape like this. You get what I'm saying? and a baby might just have like no shoulders at all. So generally they have shoulders that kind of look like a shape like this. That kind of, so you can see how everybody looks, right? Right, like their little picture, right? Okay. So, and guys, y'all excuse me. My son is like, he screams a lot. So I got a 1 year old that doesn't, he screams. He doesn't talk like a normal person. Right. So all your tips today is going to go to getting me a muzzle for my son. No, thank you. I'm just messing with you. But that'll go to helping. This is a family funded thing. So you guys, thank you so much for helping to fund our art channel. This is completely, like I said, a solo dolo. So tips are appreciated, guys. Thank you so much. If you feel like you're benefiting from the art lessons that I'm giving out to you today. All right. So now we've done the front of the body here, and we did the back of the body here. So I guess what I can do now is try that. We'll draw a few more of these here just to tour around with it, and then we'll just combine those things together. So here we go again. I'm just gonna do a few more shapes here. See what I can do. Right, that's another one. Let me see. I can go like this here. Go like that. Right, that's like a flying. Maybe your person is flying. Might be good for superheroes in space, right? There ain't so many things your legs can do, man. I mean, they can do like this, right? Okay. Yeah. It ain't but so many things your legs can do. Okay. Before you need to right. Oh wow. So now this one I get what that means now. So foreshadowing would mean I have the authority to make the back stick bigger than the front one. Okay, so now in foreshadowing, that seems like which I don't know. I'm not going to even go through that with y'all today, but it just seems like I just saw something there. With the foreshadowing, the limbs change depending on what you're trying to do. So, like if you're trying to punch somebody and you're making it want to look like it's coming toward the camera, well, the closest thing you'll see to the camera is the fist. That would be this part, right? And then you got a guy, his head is way back here. But now the longer arm, the longer part of the arm would be here, and the shorter part would be here. So this would be like the back of the arm. This would all be like your forearm, and this would be the back of the arm. You see, so look how it looked like the arm is going like this. You know what I'm saying? And then you can see all of this here, right? You can see all of this here, and then you can't really see much of this back here because what happens naturally when you foreshadow, right? You're going to see what's closest to you the most and what is furthest away from you the least. No better way to whoa, no better way to illustrate that than maybe with an horizon. If you see here, I can draw some little trees right here on this horizon. Right? Look. Okay. And I'm going to draw some sky and some birds, right? Now, that looks like it's a little picture, but how much smaller can I make that look? Well, I can make it smaller by adding some trees that are here on the side, right? You get what I'm saying? So now it looks, and then you got, you see here you have some park benches, right? As you get down here, the park benches get smaller. You're saying so it's like we're looking at things, but we're looking at things going that way, and then back here is like things far off. So your arm kind of thinks about it does it like that. If this is the front, If this is an arm, right, we would be like, okay, this is the body back here, right, with your thing, right? But this might be the back of the arm. But if I wanted to make my arm look like it's punching something here, right, then this would be my forearm arcing and coming out to that arm. You get what I'm saying? So it makes it so everything looks bigger as it gets more towards you. Okay. Hey, have a great evening, Nico. Thank you so much for coming out today. I appreciate you. Okay. All right. So that's a little bit about the foreshortening thing, which I really didn't mean to go there. But all right. So what did we cover so far? We've covered the skeleton cartoon, the joints. We're doing joints and limbs, and I gave you how the body is basically constructed. This is like, again, if you are a super beginner, and even if you're seasoned and you're drawing for speed, you're drawing for production, you're at a party or an event and people are constantly asking for themes or whatever like that. First of all, I personally don't do themes when they pay me to be at an event. I only do faces because I want to do as much faces as I can. Okay? I want to do as much faces as I can, all right? So this way is a more effective way, I think, of doing this. Let me just get rid of some of this paper I'm not using. Golly. This is from a class that I had yesterday. And, oh, okay. Excuse me one sec, guys. Let me get this out of here. Put this on the floor. Okay, so let's see here. So let's go ahead. Again, we're going to stay on this part for a minute. I think this is real interesting here. I'm actually learning something myself as I'm doing this. So I still want to go back and play around with this basic way, okay? So I think this is the way y'all going to really appreciate this video instead of thinking about, all the stuff. And then we'll go back into the figures, and then we'll do some actual theme together. Let me just sharpen my pencil real quick. Okay. All right. So, again, we sit down. And we're looking at our shape sheet over here, okay? So let me see. What about this shape right? Let me see. This shape right here, hexagon. This is a really good shape for making people that have big muscles, right? Because if you use this shape like this, you can bring the head. You can take your box, right? And you can put that box like right here. And then it looks like it has traps. You get what I'm saying? And then you got that separator space. And then you have a triangle. Right? Okay? You know what I'm saying? So you see how it looks like this person is real big here? And then now if you want to put... Hold on 1 second, guys, because my son is screaming like heck. I cannot play... Oh my God, they're screaming extra loud today. I'm sorry, guys. I really am. All right, then we have our circles here. Okay? So you got your circles. Now from here, we're going to do the limb thing. So remember we talked about our limbs and it being like common proportions and ratios. So we said that there's going to be an equality between the front limb and the side, the upper limb and the lower limb. And you really can illustrate this by just drawing circles right where the joints go to. Okay, make your joints increasingly smaller as they get down here. See what I'm saying? So you can see here that your arm is literally going from point A, from middle of point A to the middle of point B, okay? And then it's going to go to here, which is going to be your hand shape. So for hands, you know what? You can do this. You can use the same shape, actually. It's really a cool shape to use to try to learn to stand in for your hands. You know what I'm saying? And then you just draw a little shape over it like that, okay? So this will be like my midsection, right? And then if you want to add a cylinder here or whatever you can, right, to make your person thicker. So that would be like like more of a bodybuilder kind of a guy. You know what I mean? So that's what this shape here is good for. Or a humpback person, right? So I might do like this, humpback, right? Then I might go to my midsection, and then I might go to my head, right? Whatever it looks like this, right? And then I always stick with these shapes right here are just little what are they? They're just little parallel. So they basically think about it like drawing this. This is all this is. Okay? We're drawing this shape over and over again, okay? Okay? So we want, and how we know we're not getting lost, we just simply draw the top and the bottom at the same angle. See? Top, bottom, same angle. You can even taper it if you want, and then you have your leg. You see what I'm saying? So it's easy to draw. And if you want to add more, like you want to add different clothing articles or whatever, but this is just the skeleton of it. You know what I mean? So, but if you want to add stuff to it, you can add, like if you want to add armor or whatever, you can add a circles around it all the way, and then you can come out here and make the leg bigger, like he got a suit on. It's all kind of stuff you can do when you understand how to build a body like this. But again, for caricature, most of the time you're going to be keeping it real simple. You're just going to be like, okay, if it's mom, sometimes, hey, just draw a shirt first. A lot of times people don't understand. If you're wearing a clothing article, draw the shirt first. You know what I mean? Right? You don't have to draw the shirt. You can't see the other part of the figure, so draw a shirt here. And then over here, you might want to come over here, and if you learn how to draw mom's shirt, right, like this, right, because I'm thinking in 3D, right, this is how it would look. You know what I'm saying? So now we got the half bodies, right? And then what we going down here, this shape right here really is just one of these. Remember this shape here? I don't know if this is true or not, but it seems like it is while I'm doing it. Remember this shape we just drew, right? Well, I'm looking at this whole shape now, and I'm like, let me see. So if I do this and make this kind of the whole idea, right? Just one big idea, then I can come over here, you know what I'm saying, and add some feet like that, right? So I can do a number like that, right? My arm is coming from here out to here and up to here, right? And then from the sleeve, right? And up to here. You know what I'm saying? So here, we got our hands, thumbs, hands, right? And then we got our head, right? Or whatever, right? So you got a person right there. Okay? And the same thing over here, right? Your arms coming from here to here to here. From here to here and to wherever. It could be going here if we want. You know what I'm saying? And then you just put your arm there, right? So it's all about again knowing that equal proportion of your arm thing works. The trick works most of the time. Sometimes you might have a little bit of, but most of the time you're going to see that it works pretty good. Okay, is this helping anybody out today? I don't get a lot of commentary today, but hopefully you guys are being helped out by this. Okay, all right. So now what am I going to go into next? I'm going to do some common proportions and ratios, right? Okay. So I'm going to go over here and just draw some different common proportions, ratios. I have some figures here and different ways that I use to be able to try to draw my figures. This is a pretty cool one right here. One. Let me see. Just follow along. This looks like a little arrow shape. Shorter up top, a little longer on the bottom, right? And then a little short right here, and down, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's like a little bow tie, right? All right. I mean, and they're screaming like, that's a boy. Ugh. Kiddos, man. Okay, so this is going to be here. I'm going to make this twice as long to get out to here. All right, and then I'm gonna do like this. I wonder if that makes a better arm. That looks like it makes an actual better. I don't know. Does it? No, I guess if it's the further out it is, the further back. But let's see. And then we come here, okay, and here, and then we'll do like this right here. Okay. Okay. So that's one stick figure. Let's draw some more stick figures together, guys. All right. Okay, let me see here. We got what is this one here? This is a spray. I like to use this one too. This is my spray can head. So you got your head, your neck, right? And then here it has like another little arrow. I can draw like this. And you can see the arrow because the body is kind of pointing out here like this. And then I just come over here, short, short, and arm, and long, long, and then arm. And you can think of the hand like this, like a little fish tail, like a. Okay, so you see this little fish tail right here? So I use that for my hand right there. Okay? Okay. 1, 2. Okay. And then you got the leg that's further away. 1, 2. Okay. Remember to make your legs shorter if they're further away. So use your common sense. Common sense would say that this leg is further away. This arm and this arm are further away from us than this arm and this arm. Therefore, we're going to use shorter extremities on these arms here. You get what I'm saying? So it's going to be like that. All right, let's do some more, guys. Let's do a running person now. Maybe somebody's running, right? So this is a pretty cool one. We can do we'll do a head shape here, like a little acorn head shape. 1, here we go. I'm just gonna go slow with you. 2, 3, 4. So that's a head, right? Then we're gonna draw a stick. Okay. And then we're gonna draw a hourglass. So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then once we get that, we go 1, 2, and then we put your hand, with your hand will go about right here. So we'll just put like a little block right here, just to represent the hand. Okay. And then we'll go with a short arm here, 1, and it's going back, so it's going to be shorter. 2, and then we'll put our little fish hand back here. 3, right? Again, we're talking about some easy bodies, right? Easy bodies, guys. Now we're gonna go with a look. We're gonna go with our run. Oh man, I made it a little longer here than I was supposed, but not what's the word I'm looking for? Bigger. But anyway, your leg, your front leg is gonna be here. Okay. And then it'll extend out past, and it'll make another leg right here. Okay, and then obviously you're gonna have the bottom of your foot and your foot here like this, kind of. You get what I'm saying? Even though you can't really see that right there because of all this other stuff I got drawn. Okay. All right, and then we have this one. Okay, and then we have our other leg here. Okay. So you can see that this leg here is going to be further back. This one's going to be a lot more forward, right? And this looks like how I think about this is like the bottom of an iron, like an iron bottom. An iron bottom. Okay? All right. So we got that down. All right. Let me see here. What other ones do we got here? Okay, we did a running one. And then I'm thinking about like even if we can do one with basic, like with little gesture, but I got some other card. I got some ones up here. I could have just let me see if I find them. Oh, here it is. Okay, so these are some little stick figures right here we can use to practice from. Let's turn this over. Kind of just go through that bottom row down there. Okay, so we'll start with the first guy. Okay, head. We can combine the torso and the upper chest if we want by making a longer shape like they did here. And then you can see here they have the legs 1 and 2. And then they can see the leg, the foot here. And then it kind of like going out 1. And then it's going 2. And then you got your foot going back here, right? Then you got 1. Then you got 2. And your arm is coming out here. And then you got 1. And then you got 2. Okay, and your arm, your hand is right there, okay? So this is a little quick figure, right? Okay? Sometimes we can't draw people because we don't have a way to put their, we don't understand how to put their features in there. So because we don't have that skeleton. So this is a really, really, really cool exercise, I think, to learning how to draw bodies, right? All right, let me see here. Let's go to the next one, which is a hand raised up. So again, we have our head. Okay, 1. Okay, let's draw our middle of our body here. 2. This middle part can be whatever shape you want. Okay, but I'm just using the shapes that's here. Remember, no matter what you draw, everything becomes equal depending on what you're doing. So let's just say I want to make this arm look like it's way back there. Again, I'm going to use shorter limbs back here to represent the fact that everything here is back there, right? Back there. And then this one, I'll come here and watch how much longer my segments are compared to these segments. So what they do, again, is they create a sense of this is over here. This is the tray for the waiter, right? And this is the forearm. And he's walking kind of that way. You get what I'm saying? And then you go into your arm. So here we'll have our I like to look for my weight bearing leg first. So if I'm thinking what leg's going to be my weight bearing leg, I might say, okay, let's say this is my weight bearing leg here. So what I'll do is I'll just extend down to the desired height of my character, and then I'd use that as my weight bearing leg. And let's just say this one again could be a situation where it's further away, right? You see, so I draw the limbs a little bit shorter per capita, right? And then really in theory it's just that you're doing like this with a square. So remember how I told you that shapes mean everything. Well, this is the shape that you literally just drew, right? If you put the limbs there, this is what you just did here. You get what I'm saying? But you got to think about it like that. So if the whichever way your body is facing, you want to think about it like this basic shape, right? Okay. All right. And let me see here. All right. Let me see here. Where's the next one at? So we got this one. Okay, and remember we said the middle portion can be any shape you want. It can be like this. I might change them in here, and then I just go up here, 1, 2, right? 1, 2, like this, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, just like that. You see? So that would be this guy, right? You want to be able to make your guy do whatever you want him to do. And when you understand that the limbs are equilateral, everything gets so much easier. I can make this guy huge. I can change the middle section. It doesn't matter. And then I just come over here. I can still do the same concepts. This one is a little bit further away because he has 1, 2, because he's standing kind of at an angle. And maybe this is like a really, a really chunky guy. So you can have little short arms over here and then longer arms on this side of the body. You get what I'm saying? So it's whatever. The sky's the limit, really, as compared to what kind of caricature or cartoons that you can make. You just have to kind of keep an open mind about it, right? And then we just draw our legs around it. Now, when I drew these legs here, a thing that I noticed here is that when I overlap my shape to actually add mass to my legs, I noticed, well, in my mind, I actually looked at the whole shape, and then I acted like this was connected to this whole shape when I drew it this way. Kind of like I drew something like this, and then I drew something like this. You get what I'm saying? But this is the midsection. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense to you. Okay. Okay. Yeah. It's really easy. Just think of it like that. So again, just 1, and then you have 2, right? And then the one that's in the front, the longer one will be. You get what I'm saying? So that's really how I was thinking about it when I drew it. Okay. All right. Let's continue. All right. So now we have we did 4. Now we got a guy over here pointing. So I'm gonna go here, and maybe I'll use a shape where it's kind of like this, like a bean shape. So I go 1 and 2. And fish, right? And 1 and 2, right? And point, okay? And now I can go 1 and 2 and leg, right? And 1 and 2 and back leg, right? Real easy, you see? And as you continue to do this, you're gonna get real good at these. Now let's draw some legs. So remember, let's draw some pants. So if I go from this side of my drawing and I go here, kind of like, look what happens. 1, 2, legs, right? Now look, if I go from here and I pretend like I'm drawing through it like a crisscross, and I come off the front of these, well then it looks like my person has their pants on. Actually, this foot is just not logical, but it would be something like this. I can't see somebody standing like that, right? Yeah. Okay, but you understand what I'm saying? So you get how I did that, and the same thing happens no matter like how you're doing it. You're looking at the whole shape itself, and then you coming over here, and then you're going over here. Right, and you can see all of this kind of goes to the same area over here, right? Over here. You know what I'm saying? Everything is common sense. It kind of just fits together like a little puzzle. Okay? All right, so let me see here. What else we got? We got another one here with the arms crossed. So we got the head again. Let's do another torso shape. I don't know. Let's make the torso shape super. Let's make it like this, where he's got his shoulders up in the air, like yeah. right? So that might be like the shoulders up in the air kind of thing. And this might be, you might be thinking of like somebody like Groot from the Minions, right? You might think of something like that, right? And this is, you know, how he might look, right? He's a lot bigger than that, but you get what I'm saying. If you want to make your shoulders look up in the air, whatever you want to do, you can make really cool characters doing this. Okay, all right. So let me see here. Let's take a quick break, real quick, guys. I don't know if you guys had any practice time, if you've been practicing. So now I'm going to take about 10, 15 minutes, and I'm going to allow you to send your work in. So if you guys have been practicing along with me, you want to send your work in, you want to ask questions, this will be the time to do it. So you got about 15 minutes. Don't forget, guys, as well, that tips are appreciated. And if you want to take a one-on-one caricature class with me, I do offer one-on-one classes. You can go to rouserworld.com/classes, and you can sign up today. I can take care of, show you what I know about caricature, share with you. And you can draw more than stick figures, man. Everybody always said, I can't draw more stick figure, but you can draw more than stick figure. It's just something that I think people are trained to say when it comes to drawing, right? Okay. So when you send your work in, guys, you can send it in through Facebook or you can send through Instagram. So just go to Rouser World at Facebook or Rouser World at Instagram, Rouser World at Facebook, Rouser World at Instagram. That's all you have to do is just go to and then message us and send the picture and then I'll pull the picture up. We'll put your picture up here and then we'll get you guys squared away. Okay. Real quick, guys, give me a moment. I'm gonna go ahead and get them in on action here. While you guys are waiting, while you guys are hanging around. All right, let me see here. See if I can get stick figure bodies. Okay, hold on one sec, my friends. I just got to put this camera up here real quick because I want to record this part right here. So y'all give me a minute. Hey man, I'm old school. This is how I'm not as tech savvy as you guys are. Right? So yeah. I'm not as tech savvy as you guys. Let me see. Okay, so it looks like we did that real quick. I just needed to make sure that my thing was my battery was charged. My wife hates when I use my phone and my battery is not charged. I get yelled at about that about 3 times a week, at least. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else get yelled at about that? No? Okay. All right, let me see. So let's continue, guys, with our stick figures. Okay. We are learning how to draw stick figures. So we got our stick figures here. Okay, this is my stick figure book. And also my caricature book. Most other caricatures, their books look like their drawing books look like they have all these professional drawings in there. Mine just looks like a bunch of stuff. Hey guys, please forgive me again. Today my son is in extra like crunk mode, and when he screams, it makes me want to take him back to the hospital. But I can't because I do love him. But he's screaming extra loud this morning. I don't know why. Okay, but everything that's him. Actually, I drew a little cartoon of him and his brother right there. That's the one that's screaming. This one. His name is Evan. He doesn't even look like he screams in this picture, right? He just looks like a little fella that's happy, but this is not an accurate depiction of my kids. I should have just drew 2 Tasmanian devils, and then that would have been more of an accurate depiction. Okay, So anyway, again, guys, remember with these stick figures, just remember the rule of thumb. The rule of thumb is equilateral. Okay, like if you just or so, and think what equilateral is. If I tell you I have an equilateral box, that means that think about your arm. If I put a joint right here, equilateral means all sides of this box are the same length. Okay, so if all sides of this box are the same length, then I can stand to say if I drew an arm and I did like this and did like this, and then I added a little hand on the end, right? And a shoulder at this one, right? This is how the body is constructed. So, and then again, uh, the further away that limb is from you. For instance, if I'm drawing a human being here and I want I want their arm to appear, let's just say this is their head, and I want this other arm to appear to be smaller than this arm, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to, in theory, think about another box over here. Okay? You get what I'm saying? In theory. Okay? And I would bring my hand, bring it out from where it was starting, right here. I will go to the edge of that box, and then I will go to the edge of the box here to make another hand. You get what I'm saying? Even though that's kind of weird. Even in theory, this is just how it works, okay? And I'll draw some pictures, some caricatures on with you so you can see, all right? So, again, let's go ahead and draw. We're going to draw about, I'd say we're going to fill up this page one more time with stick figures just to make it. You guys can get some good practice in. Has anybody sent in any pictures yet? I don't know. I'm gonna check my Instagram here and see if you guys sent any pictures in to be reviewed. Let me know here, guys, if you want to send your work in, and let me check it out. Okay, I don't think we have any. Let me see. Do we have a message? Okay, liked your reel. Liked your reel. Do I have a message? Okay. Nope, I don't have a message yet. Okay, not yet. Okay. All right. So let's keep going, guys. We don't have anybody that sent any pictures in yet. Okay. All right. I wonder, man. Oh wow, that's awesome. You know what I was thinking? That one might be cool to draw some. And after I finish, when we do this, we'll draw some caricature pictures together, guys. So let's go ahead and get back into our stick figures. All right, so let's draw. Remember, with our basic shapes, head, basic shape, drops down to a neck. Okay, some type of stick. Then it goes into another basic shape, which is generally going to be your torso. Your torso is going to be different shapes for different people, but I like to use this windshield type shape because it kind of turns along with the body. Then it's going to drop down again, and then it's going to go into into your pelvic area. Okay, so you have your pelvis, you have your torso, you got your head. Okay, you got to understand this about the body at first when you first start drawing your bodies. Okay, all bodies are you want to get this down first, because when you combine this with the fact that all limbs are equilateral, you'll be able to draw anybody. It'll just be a matter of time. You get what I mean? So let me show you what I mean. So anybody you draw, let's say if I pick a head like this and I make this torso smaller because it's a female, right? All right. When I drop down, because it's always going to be balanced, counterbalance. Your hips, your pelvis is made to counterbalance your head. Okay, see your head's here, and notice how the hips, if this is a center line, right, and balance means everything is straight, right? Look at where the big shape is. So look at it like this. Look how the pelvis and the head all tend to bend back this way, trying to maintain a balance with this center line. Okay, kind of like if this is the center line, this is your head, right? Then here is a counterbalance. You get what I'm saying? If this is your head, right? No matter what, this is, if I'm doing like this will be counterbalance. Your body must move in the counterbalance. And then what happens is your midsection shape stays here. You see your midsection shape? And then your limbs. See? The L-shaped limbs. L-shaped limbs. L-shaped limbs. You get what I'm saying? So no matter which way whatever the body is doing, remember that it has to have the balance and that counterbalance in order to be able to be viable as a body. So let's practice that a few times, right? So we got let's just, again, a head. Okay, look. And then let's go our head, and then we have our windshield, right? And then we have our pelvic area. Think of it like maybe like a diagram. Okay. Like a flow chart. First this happens, then this happens, then that happens. All right. So it can be used to show progression. So if your body's lying on the floor, well, what changes about that? Nothing. Okay. Now you're just drawing the triangle and now because your legs like technically you really don't, from the side it wouldn't appear as a triangle. I would think from the side it would appear as I would think of a good shape. Let me see. You know what shape I would use on this one? I would use a tooth, like kind of a shape. You know what I mean? So if the person is lying down, so they're looking up like this, so that their arms are here. You see what I'm saying? So now your person is lying down. So this is where this is where you get most of your movement and your flexibility and all that stuff in your body. And also why you should see a chiropractor from time to time. Because sometimes your counterbalance gets out of pocket, right? All right, so some more. So let's go with a circle shape, all right? And this, all we have to do is draw where we plan to go with our counterbalance. And an easy way to do that is to think of the counterbalance as just a ball and a triangle, a ball, right, and a triangle. Which way is my body going? Ball, triangle, ball, super bend, and triangle, right? It is. So this is telling me everything that my body wants to do. And from here, once I find this, right? Once I find this, that bend in the back, which is right here, right? You can see there's always going to be a bend right in your lower back. You can locate that. You can see right above that is where your torso shape is going to always be. Right above that point right there. So certain things you ain't going to be able to see at that angle because it's like the body is turning and flipping and turning over and stuff like that. Okay? But remember, this counterbalance thing is a really cool technique to use when drawing the picture. So being armed with that, now when you sit down, we're going to pull up a face real quick. Okay? So over here I have a face. Okay, let's pull up this face here. Okay, so we got a face right here. So let's say I wanted to draw a picture of her. Okay, watch. I'm gonna draw her head shape. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. I'm gonna do like this. Right. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Like this. All right, so let's say this is her. Okay. That's funny. Okay, now watch. If I go here, look, okay? Now watch. Shoulders, I'm gonna do this for my head. I want to counterbalance. So I'm gonna go this way with her hips. You get what I'm saying? So you see, I know you see how my body I feel. I went 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? Then you come back here. Watch equilateral limbs. 1, 2, equilateral box, right? Equilateral box. You get what I'm saying? If you go here, 1, 2, Because remember, you're trying to establish balance, counterbalance. So look, you know what I'm saying? So look at the body. It's going like this. Dun, 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 right? So you can see the flow. The flow is like this. Right. Oh, the wrong way. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay. But we can see this is where it's going. See? And then around here. And then back that way. Okay? And then see here, you got your foot. Over here, right? Look at my legs. Look at coming back to the center. Look at my center with shorter limbs. You get what I'm saying? So the limbs, look how I use my center line to help me to balance and counterbalance the body shape. Okay? So this would be her little cartoon picture. You know what I'm saying? Uh-oh. One of my lights just went down, guys. Give me a second. It should come back on. It's a little hot in my office right now, so give me a moment here. I'm going to have to turn them down some. Hold on a second. Hold on, guys. Okay. I'm going to need y'all to give me just a minute because I need to take the cover off of this thing right here because I think it's getting too hot too fast because of the heat in here. I got my office I ain't got my AC fixed in here yet. So as soon as it cools off, we'll get some more light in here. I have these weird lights that have a remote control to them. So they kind of what's the word I'm looking for? They have a mind of their own. I'm surprised that I can come back on yet. Okay. Anyway, we'll just keep going with that, guys. And hopefully my other light will come back on here in just a second. Okay. So, man, y'all probably can't see it all. Can you guys see that on YouTube? Can you guys see my picture? Because I know it's kind of dark here, but it's nothing I can do about that until this light decides it wants to come back on, it, if it does at all, because it looks like it might be blown out now that I look at it. Right in the middle of my live stream. Let me see. All right, well, let's just go with what we got, man. So what, right? Okay, so did you guys get all that? Did that make sense to you about the balance, counterbalance thing? Yep. Okay, cool. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go back over here and do another one. All right, so let's look at her. Let's say we want to put her friend here. So we might go like this. And let's say I want to give her and her friend, right? And they like, so I got like this. And maybe she's doing like, maybe this is the way her body is going. So maybe over here, I got 1, 2, and then maybe I went with a shape with no separation in the middle, but just straight into her balance, counterbalance. Okay, so I can see where the flow of my body is going. I don't know what's going to be going on here, but let's just say let's say, I don't know, what the heck can I be doing here? All right, let me see. Let me do this here. And then we'll just put her. You know what I want to do? Like that. Okay. And so we're just putting in little pictures. Oh, there it goes. It came back on. Good deal. Good deal. Okay. Let's just turn them down some. Okay, there we go. That's like that. Okay. Awesome. All right, you see that right there? Okay. And then I'll come over here and we'll do. Let's see how we want to do. I don't know what she's doing. Maybe she's a. So let's say her legs are going back behind here somewhere because, well, maybe her foot is out here and maybe she's just clowning around with her friend. Right. So I got around this and around this, and then I'll come back over here. Right. Right. And around this and around this, and I'll come over here. And around this here, come over here. Oh, that one's a little off, but okay. You get it. And maybe she's ice skating. I don't know. Maybe it's an ice skating theme. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you wanna do. You just gotta kind of, feel your way around, and you'll be fine. Okay. All right. So guys, let's see what time it is. It is 11:23. All right, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to get ready to do my word of the day, okay, because we need to get that done. And then after we do the word of the day, we're going to go ahead and get you guys out of here because I know it's a Tuesday, so it's really, you guys probably got to be probably at work right now. It's probably why it's not many people here today. It's a few people, but not a lot, right? And I'm not going to beat a dead horse, right? I just want to put the information out there. Take my creativity pill for the day, right? Okay. I really, really, really enjoyed the stream today, guys. Again, if you guys decide that you want to take classes with me, you can take classes at rouserworld.com/classes. I do offer one-on-one classes so that you can learn to draw a caricature, okay? Let me see here. All right, so with that being said, let's draw a face or two, and then we're going to get out of here, okay? So, anywho, I can't wait to go to the beach today. I'm ready to go. Dun, 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 dun. Burn. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, doing this so many years, it's crazy, how you think you could still be learning something about something that you've been doing your whole life. You would think, yeah, I already know everything about this, but it's like certain relationships I never even paid attention to when I was drawing faces or bodies or anything like that, and then it just got to, it got where it became like I don't know, it's like I see what I didn't see before, and it makes everything so much easier for me. So there is hope with this, guys. You just gotta remain hopeful, right? There is hope. Dun, 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 dun. Wow, interesting. Mm, 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 mm. Mm-mm. Okay. All right, guys. So I think that's about all I got for you today. I think I'm gonna go ahead and start closing this thing down. I'm gonna go ahead and get my word of the day stuff out, guys, and then we'll go ahead and we will continue from there. So I'm just gonna share my devotional with you before I leave. Let me go ahead and pause this music real quick. Okay. All right, and we're gonna do a quick little devotional with you guys to just kind of encourage you before you get out of here. I hope you guys had a blast at the stream, learning how to draw stick figures, right? And all the things it can do. Again, I do apologize that my children screamed a lot during the stream, but I have to put it like this: I have to work and I have to stream and I have to have kids and I have to have. So it's just like I just do what I have to do, and I hope that somebody maybe even found some appreciation in that. Okay. So what we're going to do today, guys, is we're going to go into a word of the day. If you do have your Bibles handy, you can go to the book of Ephesians. We're going to go to Ephesians 5:20. I'm just going to read my devotional. We'll talk about it just a little bit, just to see how we can actually apply this to our life, because, what good is information if you can't apply it to your life? So this is what we're going to talk about: troubles and the triumph. Okay, troubles and the triumph. Okay, and I picked the bodies today because I had trouble drawing bodies. Right, I had trouble drawing bodies, so we're gonna go trouble to triumph. I'm just gonna put it over here. I had trouble drawing of bodies, right? But one day I was triumphant about it, right? Because I began to see different things about the body that, I didn't understand before. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Certainly you can relate to having a trouble in your life, right? And then if you've been walking with God for any time, I'm almost certain, I am absolutely 100% certain that He's delivered you from some things in your life, so you can relate to what I am saying today. Okay, so let's go with Ephesians. It says in Ephesians 5:20 is where we're at, and it says, don't always give thanks to God the Father for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. And it's very simple. When you're not thankful for things, a person that's not thankful is usually going to be a very miserable person. The opposite of thankful might be a word like this: entitled, right? Deserving. Look at me, right? Let me see. You don't have any appreciation for it. And at my job, sometimes I'll go to at work when I'm drawing caricatures. A lot of the time, it's one of my practices to go and to give away my first picture to a family. And the reason I do that is to show myself that I make money. The money doesn't make me. I'm not gonna be like I'm not gonna become desperate behind anything or any of that. But all that really just came from being thankful. I also look at the family that I feel will be thankful. So when I'm looking around to decide, well, I want to give a picture to this family or that family, I'm kind of just looking around the room, and I get to see everybody as they come into the restaurant. We have a lot of people in there, so I'm looking around and I look for the family that's thankful. You get what I'm saying? And you can tell it when they're not watching. You'll be able to see, just how people behave when when they think they're not being watched. People tend to act like themselves. So I'll give them when I say I find that family, I'll go to that family and say, hello, my name is blah 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 blah, right? And the caricatures here at the restaurant. I give away a picture to a thankful family. I feel like your family's thankful, and then I would like for you. I would like to bless you with a picture, and I really do want to bless them with it, because then when I finish it, whatever I sign it or whatever, and and I always pray over every picture, because I'm not just drawing pictures. I don't that this doesn't like if you're doing a job just because you just got to go through the job. Your job is supposed to be a job you're supposed to be service. You're supposed to be thinking about service. You're supposed to be of service to people. So this is really what I look at it as. I don't look as I'm going up to somebody begging them to let me draw their picture. I look at it like service to them. You get what I'm saying? I'm providing a service for you, and then I'm going to be of service to you. Then we treat each other like that. But anyway, this all comes from being thankful. When you feel like everything that you have is because of you, and you'll hear people talking, nobody gonna give me nothing in the world. It's me against the world. You got to take what you want. You know what I mean? All those type of sentences come from people that generally have unthankful hearts about what they have. You get what I'm saying? Unthankful. Because when I get $1, I act like I got $500. You get what I'm saying? Because that's a blessing. And I truly believe that this is the key to a good life. A good life, a happy life is thankfulness. So let's read the devotional and see what it comes up with, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. So it says, don't try to run away from your problems in life. Those problems aren't just random mistakes. They are blessings in disguise. Don't try to run away from the problems in your life. Those problems aren't just random mistakes. They are blessings in disguise. And I can use them to make your faith stronger. It says, so instead of worrying about problems, see them as a chance to trust me more. And that's what I do. My life has been a lot of ups and downs, and we said balance and counterbalance, right? But at the end of the day, every time I saw God come through for me in a situation, it gave me that much more confidence that he would come through for me in another situation. And so, it's just a string of trials just put together, much like the body, when you build a body in cartoons by putting things on top of one another. This is, and you ultimately build a form. This is kind of how you build your faith. You put moment and situations on top of other situations, and then they will come out with your ultimate structure. The structure, instead of being a body, right? Well, actually, it can be a body, but that structure, for you, is called your life. Your life will look like all the shapes you stack on top of each other, right? All the time. Every time you go through something, and one of these shapes could be bad. It could be, you could be like, I'm thinking straight, but I don't have a heart. My heart's not right. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have, your heart's not right. So you leave that out, and then you go down here to this. So, and this shape right here was a memory of a bad thing that happened to you 20 years ago. And this shape over here is a memory of that. And then, so if you look at it, your heart got broke, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you go here, and then this is a memory, a bad memory. And then over here, you had up here, you're just constantly thinking about negative things. So you have all of these blocks that you're technically using to build yourself up. You're thinking a certain way. You're not seeking to heal your heart. You're walking around with a broken heart. You're walking around with bad memories. And if I don't know if you guys know anything about getting older, but when you get older, they say you become the sum total of all the dumb stuff you did in your life. your body begins to ache in certain places where you had injuries, or before, when the weather changes, you get injury. Like my knees get like achy when the weather changes because of certain injuries I had. And so that's the same thing that happens in our spiritual walk as we go down the road of life. Right, our spirits can become damaged and weakened as a result of the decisions that we're making now. So if you're a young person, don't think that you have life, all this life ahead of you, because you just really don't know. The other day they had a bunch of camp little students. God bless those students. And these students were little girls and little boys going to Bible camp, you know, um, and by looks and appearances, trying to do the right thing with their life, and then all of a sudden, tragedy happens. Um, just recently here, actually last night, I believe, Malcolm Jamal Warner. He was a guy that I watched coming up as a kid on the Cosby Show and in various other shows. In fact, we're the same age, right? Um, so he went out on a trip apparently, and apparently he passed away from drowning. And but those are just things you just can't plan for. You just can't plan for that. And so we want to be careful again. We don't have all this time. We don't have all this time. We got to get right with God today. So again, don't try to run away from problems. Okay, don't always practice in drawing what you're good at. People tend to draw 100 of what they're good at and one of what they're bad at. Go over there and challenge yourself. There's a version of you, an upgrade to you, and God wants to upgrade you to the highest level of you. And there's a version of you that exists that you will never understand or know about because you're so afraid, based off the problems that you've had in life that you keep running away from. But you won't allow God to, I know for me, you won't allow God to be God. So for me, I know, when I stop running from problems, I look at them now and I just say, you know what? Okay, God, we're going through this together. Okay, whatever it is, I'm going to go through it with you because you said that you was going to, you know what I'm saying? You was going to make this right for me. You was going to bring, you know what I'm saying, this tragedy into a triumph for me. So I start asking questions now when I get into situations. What am I supposed to be getting from this? What am I supposed to learn from this? Again, so instead of worrying about problems, see them as a chance to trust God more. When you start to feel depressed, that is a sign that you need help from God, and it's okay to need help. And it says God created us to need help, and that is something that I think we beat ourselves up too much. We're just humans, and we can't take but so much before we break, and so we're actually very fragile creatures. So that's just an encouragement that this world idolizes those who don't seem to need help from anyone. So that is definitely true. When you think about the world that we live in, it's all about who can stand on their own 2 feet, and every man will survive, and dog eat dog's world and all that kind of stuff like that. But really, all of that is not true. All of that is not true. We were designed to need help. In fact, in the beginning, God said it's not good for man to be alone. So he made the woman from the man. He didn't make the man to be a lord over her, but what he did was he made her somebody he could do life with, right? That could help him to make decisions, better decisions. And that could help. You get what I'm saying? It's not good for us to be alone. It's not good if you feel like you don't need I don't need nobody. I could do anything I want myself. I don't need nobody. That is a very negative way of thinking, and it's going to just absolutely ruin your spiritual walk with God. It's going to keep you depressed inside, keep you down all the time. I don't know. I like people. I like having my brother and sister come over. I like having my kids here, even though it's annoying sometimes to have those type of things. I like them to have them around. And now it says, as you practice trusting God, you will see that I have the power to turn problems into possibilities and troubles into triumphs. one of the things, and I'm gonna. So when a problem comes your way, be thankful and let that problem lead you into a closer relationship with me. Now, just as I close out, um, one of the real ways I applied this to my life was here at YouTube. I used to stay on YouTube, stream once a day, 3, 4 times a week. I was working on thumbnails one week, trying to put the right thumbnail because I kept listening to these people tell me if you put the right thumbnail, you're going to get more views. If you do this, this is going to happen. If you do this, you're going to be more successful. And there's a lot of videos online about that. So what I decided to do was I decided to trust God, and I stopped doing all of that. Okay? I stopped doing all that because God showed me it's not you sustaining you, it's me. Let me sustain you. You'll be much happier with me driving the car than you driving the car. So let me do what I'm doing. Let me sustain you. Let me carry you. Let me care for you. I'm always going to take care of you. I'll never fail you. I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. And so God has never done that. And so because of that, now when I put up a video, I don't care about the exact right thumbnail. I don't even care if I said the exact right thing or if I made the exact right cut. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what does that all matter? If the person looks at a video and they want to find value in it, they're going to find value in it. And the bottom line is this is the world of the devil. So I would like, okay, what do you do to get more views? It's easy. All you got to do is talk about sex and drugs and people getting killed. That's all I have to do. I don't have to do. It's not about your thumbnail. All I have to do is either lie about something, right? Make up something, right? Or I could just be naked, right? This is what women do now. A lot of the women, a lot of the men, they get on there and they take all their clothes. They got hooks where they just, does that make the quality of the video better? No, but they hook you in. So if I want to sacrifice who I am and do it my way, it's very clear that this is the way you get successful in this world is by talking about sex, drugs, and killing people. Because other people, even people that are not doing this, seem to be drawn toward these things in an unhealthy way. They just, the fascination of learning about life on the dark side or something like that. I don't know what that's all about, but you get what I'm saying. This is what happens. So I said to myself, I'm not willing to talk about sex. I'm not willing to talk about drugs. I'm not willing to do drugs or do anything like that. That's, just for lack of a better word, stupid, just for you to follow me. You know what I mean? So many kids have gotten hurt trying to do challenges just so they can get views because views translate to money. So what's happening here is that we're living in a society where everybody wants money over anything else. Relationships, people, it doesn't matter. This is what we're raising our kids to do. So I won't raise my kids like that, and I'm not going to do this channel like that. There are children that come to my channel, our channel, that are struggling with real life issues. I'm not going to send them away with a message that has to do with this. I'm going to send them away with a message of hope, right? Because I'm a parent, and you know what? I would love it if one day if my daughter was lost somewhere, you know what I would love? If somebody cared enough about her to tell her where to go, and not only tell her where to go, give her the actual right directions in my absence. Give her the information that I would have gave her. Give her the directions that I would have gave her. You get what I'm saying? That's awesome when you can find somebody like that. And so that's what I want to be as with Rouser World. I don't want to be a channel where you come in and I lead you further into darkness, but I want to lead you more into the light. And I'm going to tell you, young people, and if you're older, but I'm talking to the youngsters right now, that the way to go is in a sincere and personal relationship with God. You will see that in the end game, as you get further down the road, I'm telling you, this is what's going to sustain you. None of the stuff that you think will sustain you, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your car, your college degree, you know what I'm saying? None of that stuff is going to sustain you. but God is going to sustain you because He is forever. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for coming out to the stream. I hope that I did or said something that was encouraging for you today. Also, I'll be streaming again on Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to go to the beach. I can't wait to go out there and sit out there and take in the sights. Also, if you want to take a class with me, guys, I'd love to take a class with you. I'd like to meet you. I'd like to share with you. And I promise you'll get something out of it. Even if it's just a certificate that we give you at the end, right? All right. So we're on rouserworld.com/classes. You guys can take classes there. Also, tips are appreciated. If you guys want to tip, you can tip at Cash App, $ Rouser World. Thank you so much. This is a family-funded art school, right? So we don't make money from government grants or anything like that. We're able to go forward because of donations from people like you. So thank you so much for that. So you guys have a great and wonderful evening. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream.